Hello, this is Bill Sefakar with the American Dreamer Show. I'm here with my trusty group of two, John Trackman.
John the Trackman.
The Trackman,
Yeah.
and he's going to track me wherever I'm going. He's going to take care of where I don't need a GPS.
Executive producer?
Executive
All right,
producer. I'm
see
in a
that?
good mood today.
All right.
And we have technical guru,
Technical director.
director, James Worley. Have you changed your name since last week, James? You still change?
Nope, that's my name.
Don't wear it out. Okay. All right. Well, I am really excited about this show. If you ever see like Seth Meyers or some of the other people, they say, we have a really great,
But you don't believe them.
You don't believe them.
Actually see it.
You say, show me, Well, I'm really excited about this show. I'm not going to say it's a great show, but I'm really excited. We have a lot of interesting things to provide our listeners and viewers. And I am going to get started right now because we got a lot to do in a short time.
What's on the menu today? A little teaser.
Oh, the teaser. Well, we had the thumbnail picture of, I got inspired by one of my great artists, guitarist, and man of picturing Leroy Brown and
Jim Croce.
Jim Croce, yes. John, it was a miracle how, I know that my life is full of miracles, but how that song, I Got a Name, came up on my music selection.
You weren't planning on playing it? It just came up?
I was hearing it, and it has so many wonderful themes. It has about songs and about your dad and birds and whippoorwills and proud.
Oh, okay.
And moving me down the
pull
highway.
Up the lyrics.
Right. So I was going to show you, I go and look for my songbook that I remember. I had over 175 songbooks, and there's Jim Croce, and he was such an amazing spiritual spirit.
Died at age 30. Oh, what a shame.
And what he did in that short time, which shows you, John, if you're talented and you can do it. I've lived twice as long. I haven't done
twice as long
and haven't done half as much. A third. Those songs, Lover's Cross, Roller Derby, at Queen, one less set of footsteps, Don't Mess Around with Jim.
Oh, that's a good one.
I Have to Say I Love You in a Song, and Time in a Bottle. And the words just jump out at you. Matter of fact, they in the songbook, they have little excerpts about from the song. It's you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind.
You don't pull the mask on the old Long Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim.
Oh, wow. Let's take that on the road. Let's leave it on the road.
But could I tell a Jim Croce story real quick? So one of my, oldest memories of, being a kid listening to records is, we had like 45s. This is a long time ago, folks. I'm old here. We had 45s, right? And we would sit in my friend's basement, in the summer and listen to records. And I remember listening to Bad Leroy Brown over and over. Oh, God. Yes. And I forget what the flip side was. Maybe it was Time in the Bottle. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I was exposed to him as a very young boy. Young kid.
When I get the songbook and I showed you what it was from that lady that I worked at the Maryland Energy Policy Office.
This lady is something special to you. You keep talking about
her. She gave me this book and she says, "You want to read it, John?"
No, but I will.
Okay. And
it says, "I hope that sometimes when you play these songs, you'll think of me. All my love, Peggy."
She was very dear, very dear.
That's my kind of now. Where's Peggy now?
I don't know, but you know what?
But it's we kind of came full circle. It reminds me of that Paul Simon song.
Emily, wherever she may be.
We don't know where she is.
And Peggy.
If Peggy is listening, can she please
wow, that would be a mind blower.
Yeah.
She was a lovely lady, very tall, whispery, and blonde hair.
She had honey hair.
And blonde. I don't know.
like
shades
Emily
of,
or
shades
whatever they were.
No. Anyway, that I worked on Jimmy Carter's campaign. Because I did, you remember the Democratic National Committee.
Right.
So I took 2 months leave of absence.
Didn't you tell this story already?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. And I was up in the 19th Congressional District in Pennsylvania. That was the
Okay.
Carter campaign assigned. That's what Kennedy did when he won. They brought people in that were not involved with the district because of all the infighting. And I could see why, because they were parties that were, but I had a very, very dear friend and his wife, Sam and Edith Ash. And I'll get into that another time, another place. His great, great, great grandfather was Governor Sam Ash III from North Carolina. They named Asheville. And they had a farm outside of Gettysburg. So I stayed there part of the time, and part of the time in the district county seat was York. You've heard of York, Pennsylvania, and Lancaster. And I'd go up there for 2 months and coordinated the campaign up there. And it was one of the only districts in the rural area of central Pennsylvania that Carter won. I was very proud of that. You know, the cities were more likely to go to Democratic route. But the key of this was, and I think that's why it impressed the heck out, you wouldn't believe this is Bill Sefika's story, which above and beyond. So after the campaign was over, I come back to the Energy Policy Office, Maryland Energy Policy Office, and I was getting reoriented. And Peggy was like a receptionist, the secretary. Well, I had banked at that time in Maryland. It was Maryland National Bank. And, you know, during those 2 months, you had a little lapse in things. I got a call from the Maryland National Bank branch office where I banked. And you won't believe this, John, because you don't forget these things. You don't make these things up. And Peggy reaches into my office and she says, Mr. Carter is on the phone. And Mr. Carter was the branch manager.
Right.
Could you? And so she thinks they patched me in from, you know, the why. I mean, how does that happen? You can't make these things up.
You could make it up.
I could make it up, but
yeah,
not
but you wouldn't. You'd make up something better than that.
Oh, I could definitely. But Mr. Carter, he wanted to talk to me about my negative balance because I wasn't getting paid. I was leave, you know, without pay. But you know, the Carter campaign wasn't paying that much to do that stuff.
I bet. That would have been 1980?
76.
Oh, 76. Right.
Oh, I'm going to tell you about. I went to the.
Wait, what happened? In 1980, he ran again and didn't win?
He lost against
Reagan?
And
Oh,
I went to
wow.
that. I went to the inaugural. And I wasn't a Republican because my roommate was with the Park Police. And I'll have to share that another time. But this is the inaugural book from Carter. And I went with.
What is the book from Carter?
This is the inauguration.
This is what you're holding in your hand?
Yes. Can you read it? A new spirit, a new commitment, and a new America.
There's a book of.
This is from the inaugural, and I have the tickets from the, what do you call it? The inauguration ball. And
Wow.
And I took some of my staff that worked with me on the campaign. It was quite an amazing thing.
Well, I'm glad that Mr. Carter called you and set you straight.
I wish the real Mr. Carter called me and put some money in my account. That's anyway. This is a beautiful song. Jim Croce had a way of just capturing feelings, the message. I wish I can, you know, capture it the way he really wanted, you know, this to come out. But you can get the picture when I do this.
Sorry, folks. This isn't a sing-along. No.
But there's moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead to life one.
You can turn my mic off.
I've got a name, Jim Croce. Like the pine tree lining the winding road, I've got a name. I've got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I've got a name. I've got a name, and I carry it with me like my daddy did. But I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway. Moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like the north wind whistling down the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the baby's cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I'll go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway. Move on ahead so life won't pass me by. And I'm gonna go there free. Oh yeah, that's so wonderful. I'm gonna go there free. Like the fool I am, and I'll always be. I got a dream. Jimmy put it in for I got a dream for the show. I've got a dream. They can change their minds, but they can't change me. I've got a dream. I've got a dream. Oh, I know I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway. Move on ahead so life won't pass me by. Let's do that again. You want to sing in this? Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway. Move on ahead so life won't pass me by. Can we give him a little mic sound there, James? Okay, want to do that?
Oh, we're gonna do another verse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway. Moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Let's do that again so we can get it right. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway. Moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Okay.
Was that close?
It was too close. Okay, now we get into the real stuff.
I've been to Jim Croce's restaurant in San Diego.
Oh, thank you for sharing
Very,
that.
very nice place. Well, it was a very nice place. I guess it finally closed after like 30 years, but
John, the track man, is from San Diego.
well, I'm not from San Diego, but I spent a lot of time
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Beautiful place.
And that's where, but Jim Croce is from San Diego. He's a native. Yeah. Was a native.
Well, that was a wonderful song for me. It had my dad in there and whistling down the sky, all kinds of good things. Well, I want to share a few things. I had got inspired from our last segment. I don't know how many people on our listening got inspired, but with the
At least
Colin
you got
Powell-
inspired.
Oh, well, I'm trying to spread it out, like a rippling effect, rippling. But the segment on General Colin Powell, and I got so moved, I went and ordered the book, which was supposed to have gotten here today. It worked for me.
Yeah, this is a big controversy, I think.
Well, we'll find out if it's big enough, if I'm big enough to make it a controversy, because I'm just a little. It's funny. I like to revert from my dad. When he moved to Washington, he had a big job promotion from New York. and he just described whether, people, you could be a small fish in a big pond or a big fish in a small pond.
Or you could be a
He was a small fish in a small pond.
Small-
That's what
small
he said.
fish or a small fish in a big pond, even worse.
No, he said he wasn't. But I think if I'm a small fish in a small pond, then General Powell wouldn't be too concerned with my, actually I came up with it with the numeral 4, but we'll see what happens. But I was teaching middle school last week, science. And
Weird science.
well, it really is cool stuff. They had in 3 of the 5 classes a movie about the upstaging of the Burmese python in South Florida. It's taken over. It's in the Everglades. It's
Oh, it's not indigenous.
no, it's intrusion. It's taken over. And they had in the movie of it had the alligator and the python going at it. And in one scene, the alligator swallowed the
alligator one.
The python swallowed the
Oh
alligator.
yeah, I thought so.
But the other, it was even.
But it was a good fight.
Yeah, it was really interesting. But being science class, and I brought my guitar because James is incited into my brain. He says, "Bring your guitar when you play."
Yeah,
which is good, and I felt good about it. And I didn't play it, but I did bring my books when I'm there. I bring my 2 books that I've written, and then I tell them about the podcast and YouTube channel. So when they found about that out, they said, "Oh, can we join? Can we subscribe?" They know exactly.
What grade is this?
There was 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh boy. Okay.
And they were ready. They took the class ended. They all signed up, and I think in 20 minutes I got 5 new subscribers.
There you go.
And they just were punching it. They said, "Oh yeah, this is the guy." Yeah. So I enjoyed that. And
Are they still subscribers?
I don't know. I haven't lost any. But
They may be watching right now.
Oh, they might be.
well, that would be nice to know. But I want to revert back to last week when we, James and John, we had our first guest, Dr. David Kalin, and his amazing life so far and his message about helping people and his life quest about promoting IBMS, which is the International Board of Medicine and Surgery, and over 16 years. And he's truly a citizen of the world with all that he's done. So I was just saying, I think we set the bar high for future guests. And I'm confident because I've, these people that I've come across, I held in highest esteem, our caliber of this level.
Maybe I could be a guest.
Well,
on
I was
your
going to say, do you want to be my next guest?
show.
Okay. So,
You're trying to raise the caliber of your guests,
yeah, so we're going to have a bar. It's going to be a high bar. You're going to have to try to
Right.
reach that. So, a lot of stuff was going on last week, and so in the class, let's get back to the class because I learned from the kids, the students, and I learned from the teachers and stuff. So they had a poster, and we know this man is a wonderful, successful, and he was and how he gave back as his quote provides. And we've used his quotes in the past. So I took a picture of it. I have it on there. And people often, this is what the quote said. People often ask me if I know the secret of success and if I could tell others how to make their dreams come true. If the thread is still there, we're still talking dreams, right? And his answer was, my answer is you do it by working. It's not easy.
Right.
And that was Walt Disney.
Oh, okay.
So he certainly qualifies for successful helping and making people.
His success continues after his
God,
death.
yes, it goes on.
I mean, the culture of Disney and everything else, and how everything is.
Oh, he's such a feel-good person. When you think about everything that he's done, it just glows. What a legacy, huh?
Right.
Very few. But so being in a science class as well as as appropriate is also being a science fiction aficionado. And this rings true. There was a nice poster with beautiful like galaxies floating around and intergalactic stuff, and says today's science fiction is tomorrow's truth.
This is true.
Oh, thank you.
Reminds me of that song, Weird, not Weird Science. I sang that one already. She blinded me with science. You know that song? You should learn that song and do it next week.
Oh, well, I don't know about next week. It takes a couple of weeks for me to do it mediocrity wise.
Is that Thomas Dolby, I think? Is that right, James? Yeah, he's nodding his head. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it would be nice to branch out in some of these other.
Would you like me to sing a few bars? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So I had a couple of things that I put together.
I have a quote.
Oh, good for you. Well, give me a chance to regroup here. Thank you.
I'm trying to kill time while you're
Yes.
regrouping here. I don't care what you think unless it's about me.
I still do. And I still wouldn't care what you think.
It's Kurt Cobain.
Oh, right,
Nirvana.
right.
Yep. I don't care what you think unless it's about me.
Um,
It's a good quote, right?
Well, I wanted to go over a couple of things with you. You know, John, one of the reasons why I'm pursuing this new book and challenge is because I want to branch out, you know, as much as endearing and wonderful thoughts about my dad, putting his book together and a tribute to him. There's so many important things I need to do on my own, and I think I'm going to do it. I really believe it. That's one of my dreams. But I can't get too far away, you know, the umbilical cord. And so we've talked about these things, and I want to thank you and James, because you guys are giving me a chance to do this. Otherwise, give me the wherewithal to do it, get my creative juices going. And I really believe this offers the opportunity for you to go forth and do things and creative stuff, what we have here.
We're trying. We're trying to be
admirably.
creative. Yeah.
You're super guys. And so these are your dreams also. We're pursuing new adventures, and it's all part of the plan. We're out there conjuring up and breaking through with imaginative kinds of things as well. Like they say, the sky's the limit. I wanted to pull this out of left field here.
Oh, this is like a game.
Right field, actually.
Right field.
We do have some way to look at this, but this is my dad's way of looking.
What is?
He kept everything, collected everything.
Okay.
And before I went to print, about maybe 4 or 5 months before American Dream was published, I came across in one of the cabinets that I had, everything was transferred over to me. And he had collected, as appeared in the St. Petersburg Times in 1999. That was the forerunner of the Tampa Bay Times. So in this folder, every day, the St. Petersburg Times had a little article about that year. So if you start at September 23rd, you go 100 days then to 2000.
Okay, like a little blurb from each year.
Yes. So 100 days before the millennium, whatever, the 2000 New Year. So I cleaned it up. I cut them. I put them on 11 by 17, scanned it, and I put in things pertinent to our family, like birthdays, anniversaries, things that, landing on the moon. So if you and James want to take a minute, just give me a couple.
You want me to pick a year?
Yeah, some years that you think you want to.
1963.
Wow, what a year that was.
It was a great year.
It was.
Oh, what a night.
I lived in New York at that time, and Buzzer Bob and I, and our friends, we went down to Greenwich Village.
Ah, yep.
Well, there was some good, the bad, and the ugly on that year. And I don't know if you can see it here. But why don't you take this?
Want me to read?
Yeah. And you can look in 64 too with the Beatles. So read some stuff over
Well,
there.
63, of course, was a sad year because of
Yes.
John F. Kennedy.
Yes, yes.
And I only picked that year because that was the year I was born.
Well, that offset the sadness.
Right. I don't
gladness.
remember being sad.
No.
So what, you want me to go through all the years?
Just a couple of highlights. What do you
Okay.
think might be pertinent?
Martin
Luther King, 63.
July 28th, a folk music festival in Newport, Rhode Island draws 47,000 fans. You know why that's important? Peter, Paul, and Mary, and a 22-year-old Bob Dylan. And this is like the early onset of like outdoor festivals. This is 63 now, and as we got into the 60s, we had,
Big
Monterey
crowds.
Pop Festival,
Yes.
and then Woodstock, and they just got bigger and bigger. So I don't know if this was the first one, but that's a lot. 47,000, that's big for back then for a
Yes.
folk festival. And this is, before, this is right around the time of the Beatles,
That was 64.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that I think is pertinent. Of course, we've talked about where we were when Kennedy was shot.
Yeah.
I was in a crib probably.
I was starting college at
Yeah.
Nassau College. Do you have a year, James, you want to come up with?
Back in the summer of '69. Oh yeah.
Wow.
What year was that?
69.
You little.
Bryan Adams was like 3 years old in the summer of 69.
I know that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Bryan Adams, a rocker and
Yeah.
a half. Yeah, that was the best year of my. That moon landing and the Manson Supreme Court orders immediate end to all school segregation. Neil Armstrong. It was amazing when I found the articles about the moon landing that my
Yeah.
dad had, the
Uh-huh.
newspapers of all these important, not just the little highlights. He had and it's in the book. You can even look at it, John. I'll give you homework. So you have your book handy?
Of course I do, Bill.
All right. It's in chapter 8, but let's keep going. And
Can I tell a story about men landing on the moon while you
sure.
reorganize?
Yeah.
So when I was probably like 6 years old, and every year, my family, my mom, dad, my family, my sister, maybe a couple of her friends would come down the shore, at the Jersey Shore. And the week that the men landed on the moon, we had the most extraordinary, terrible weather. It was the middle of July, and it was freezing in New Jersey. It was cold. It rained all week. And, people were saying, oh, this is an omen. We shouldn't have landed on the moon and all this. But yeah, that's my memory. It was like the coldest summer I could remember. And that was when the men landed on the moon.
And they were pretty cold up there also.
I'm sure they were. Yeah.
It was sort of, you were commiserating.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen and ladies, wherever you are.
I hope so. Somewhere.
Well, that's like the song, With you, I'm born again, wherever you are. It's like the Emily, wherever you are, and, Peggy, wherever you are.
Yeah, I think the reason why we don't have the camera on me anymore is because I always have a confused look on my face.
No.
And people don't need to see that.
Oh, John, the track man, you are the man with the tracks. Okay, and I'm trying to be the man with the facts, but that's not always.
You're going to lay down some tracks right now.
I'm going to do that. This is Billy Preston
Oh.
and Sarita.
Will it go around in circles?
I know where you always put in that.
Will it fly high like a bird up in the
Yes,
sky?
we're going to look on that. It's a good YouTube. And the fifth Beatle, and then you interjected that he was with
Rolling
the Rolling
Stones, yeah.
And Sarita was married to Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
So it's called With You, I'm Born Again. It's a lot of feelings of finding somebody really special. And as I always try to interject, you don't want to lose that person. I've lost too many. Oh,
Everybody has.
yes. So this is Billy Preston and Sarita, With You, I'm Born Again. Come bring me your softness. Comfort me through all this madness. Woman, don't you know with you I'm born again? Come give me your sweetness. Now there's you, there is no weakness. Woman, don't you know with you I'm born again? I was half, not whole, in step with none, reaching through this world in need of wine. Come show me your kindness. In your arms I know I'll find this. Woman, don't you know with you I'm born again? Lying safe with you I'm born again. Come bring me your softness. Comfort me through all this madness. Lying safe within your arms, I'm born again. Come give me your sweetness. Now there's you, there is no weakness. Lying safe within your arms, I'm born again. I was half, not whole, in step with none, reaching through this world in need of one. Come show me your kindness. In your arms I know I'll find this. Lying safe within your arms, I'm born again. Lying safe with you, I'm born again. Come show me your kindness. In your arms I know I'll find this. Lying safe within your arms, I'm born again. Lying safe with you, I'm born again. Okay, that concludes our musical portion.
Oh, that's what you think. I'm just getting started.
Uh-oh, John, you are the man.
No, I don't. I got nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, Sir James, I could use some help from my good dear friend, because I have places to go with this and music and so forth. And the music is over. All right. Page 3. Third part.
Page 3.
Yeah, quotes. These are some quotes and sayings.
Oh.
And this was taken from my, inspirational stuff. You have to expect more things of yourself before you can do them. But this was the 22nd of this month, Wednesday. A man's dreams or an index to his greatness, or his index to his greatness. A man's dream. Okay, that was Zadok Rabinowitz. All right. June 19th, Wednesday, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. It's Anatole France. And then this was a double header on July 13th and 14th, Saturday and Sunday. Remember I said Golda Meir? Gold Mike here. You'll never find a better sparring partner than adversity.
That's right.
How would you go with that there? Are you your own worst enemy? You think, how would you interpret
I'm not
that?
my own worst enemy. I know people who
You're
are.
my worst enemy.
I might be your worst enemy, but I'm not my own worst enemy. No, I know a lot of people like that. They're a detriment to themselves.
Well, maybe by setting yourself, to the point where you say, I really am a perfectionist, or I'm really trying harder, and then too hard, maybe. All right. Great life advice. This was this book that cost me about $14.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Great Life Advice.
Okay.
And 1,000 experts. This is all in 97, 80, 98 pages, less than 100 pages. 4 golden rules for stress release, simple ways
Well, you've been following this book for how long?
2 months.
Uh-huh.
I got it at the beginning of the year.
Has it helped?
Maybe. But it's funny because they have this thing on page 26 and 27. Great advice from your trainer. Great advice from your recovering addicts, and from your yoga teachers. But it has things about.
You ever do yoga?
Yes, and I want to get back to it. Matter of fact, they have yoga in the park in Safety Harbor, where you are from, and they have the yoga in the park with the.
Oh no, I didn't mean. I meant yogurt.
Oh, you're not going to start on the yogurt.
Right.
I had my yogurt today. Food at the bottom.
Okay.
It was raspberry.
So you had some yogurt in Safety Harbor.
No, yogurt.
Oh, yoga, right? I'm confused.
You're confusing, but I like you anyway. All right, so page 27. This is advice from your gym trainers, from great advice from recovering addicts. But here it says, practice, practice, practice. It's the key to becoming physically and mentally stronger. And yes, yoga alone can keep you fit, assuming you do it at least 2 hours a week. If not, pair it with another activity like speed walking.
I try to walk. I try to do stuff.
You were going to go biking. Remember we were going to go biking?
I need to get
our
my
bikes.
It's that time. It's a perfect day. If I wasn't coming here today, I would have biked. I was getting all ready. I said,
why don't you kill 2 birds with
I
one
almost
stone?
wanted to ride my bike here.
Why don't you bike over here?
Isn't it kind of hard to eat yogurt while you're speed walking?
No, it's hard to eat yogurt while you're bicycling.
It's hard to eat yogurt while you're doing yoga.
Oh, what a beauty of a Rudy.
Beauty of a Rudy.
Okay, no. And here was Hannibal Buress. I don't even know what I'm going to.
Hannibal Lecter?
Buress.
Oh.
When people go through something rough in life, they say, I'm taking it one day at a time. Yes, so is everybody, because that's how time works.
That's true.
Okay. Where are we, James? We got 5 minutes. Okay. Did
you watch the Super Bowl? Do we not want to talk about that?
I didn't want to talk
If we
about
didn't,
it 'cause-
if we didn't, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
Are we wearing different hats? Are you wearing my hat? I'm wearing your
No,
hat.
I think
I didn't want to talk about it because you're anti Boston sports.
well, that's a little heavy. Now, I don't know about that.
You like the Boston Celtics?
I have nothing against the Boston Celtics or Bruins.
All right, but how about the Boston Red Sox?
Did you even have to say that word? Look, I'm glad you said Boston Red Sox because baseball season. Let's talk about baseball
Oh,
season.
we have our team. We're getting together with everybody.
Yes.
We're gonna record from one of our games.
We're gonna do a remote from Tropicana Field,
Yeah,
from the club level,
of course.
from the draft room.
I don't want to give a wrong impression, but they get free popcorn at the draft room. In addition,
They don't give you a free draft, that's for sure.
Okay, so we are going to read some things that
Just like one or two, right?
amen to that.
Okay.
So this is Jack Benny. He's always, and it's short.
Oh yeah.
They said it. TV comic Jack Benny. I don't deserve this award, but I have arthritis and I don't deserve that either. Okay. Rodney Dangerfield. I hope this is okay. I haven't read this. March 28th. This was, and I told my psychiatrist that everyone hates me, said stand-up comic Rodney Dangerfield. He said, I was being ridiculous. Everyone hasn't met me yet. Do you get it?
I'm sorry, I was paying attention to something. I was looking for my own quote.
So the psychiatrist was bemeaning him because he said, that's being ridiculous. Everybody hasn't met you yet, because he said everybody hates him.
It almost sounds like a Yogi Berra quote.
Yeah. You want to hit us with a Yogi Berra quote?
Yeah. The future ain't what it used to be.
Okay.
Gotta love Yogi.
Oh, well, this is the time and place. This is Benjamin Franklin had to defend the Constitution of the United States from the challenges of a dissatisfied opponent who claimed, those words mean nothing. Where is all the happiness you say? It guarantees us. Okay, this is going to be good. The Constitution only guarantees the American people the right to pursue happiness, Franklin responded. You have to catch it yourself.
That's right.
Okay. All right, we have time for one more.
When you come to the fork in the road, take it.
Yes, that was Yogi.
That was
You
Yogi.
got to tell him. All right, now Doug Larson. What was he?
Wait, you said one more.
Oh, that was one more. And the only nice thing about being imperfect is the joy it brings to others. Okay. Well, I hope we brought some joy to others because we know we are important. We know we are important. No, we're imperfect. It was a slip.
We're impotent?
No, I didn't. No.
No.
We're imperfect.
Okay.
So please take time to go out and do something that you like to do and share it with others, because we're trying to share.
We're doing it.
Yes. And go forth and prosper and go forth and make life better and come back and tell me what you did so we can share it.
Okay.
All right. This is Bill Cephakar with John the Trackman and James Worley at the controls. We're heading off to another galaxy, but we'll be back in time for the next week for the next show. And as I like to say, if you can dream it and you can wish it, then you can see it. And when you see it, seize it, your dreams. And I hope you all have your dreams ready and carrying them with you. That's a good sign, right?
Right.
Amen. Bye-bye. This is Bill Cephakar signing off.